All right, lesson 2, ratios and rates with fractions. So you had one of these similar on your homework. Finding each quotient mentally. Why don't you see if you can answer those 4 questions? Remember, dividing by a fraction is the same as multiplying by its reciprocal. All right, anybody have one? Kinley, got any?
First one, I got 15.
Yeah, it's the same as 5 times 3 over 1. 15 is correct. Next one, Brody.
Second one, I got 6.
2 times 3 over 1, 6 is correct. Third one.
1.5.
Faith.
1.5.
1.5 or 3 over 2 is correct. And the last one, probably dealing with a mixed number there. Maybe that one was the toughest. Reed.
7.5.
All right, so I got 4. I got 5 over 2 times 3 over 1, so 15 over 2, or 7.5. That is correct. All right, next problem. A train is traveling at a constant speed and goes 7.5 kilometers in 6 minutes. At that rate, how far can the train travel in 1 minute? So how do I get from 6 minutes to 1 minute? Divide by 6. So I got to do the same here. Divide by 6, figure out how many kilometers I could get in 6 minutes. So 7.5 divided by 6. Kellen. 1.25 kilometers. Okay. Again, you could just make it a table. 7.5 kilometers in 6 minutes. How many kilometers in 1? Divide by 6, like we did in the first unit. A table would be fine. So if it goes 1.25 kilometers in 1 minute, how far can it go in 100 minutes? Take it times 100, right? 1.25 kilometers times 100. 125 kilometers. Again, moving the decimal. Make sure that it is in the correct spot. Kellen, you got a question?
No.
Okay. Read number 2 or 3 for me, please.
Oh. Ran 2 3/4 miles and 2/5 of a mile. Noah ran 8 2/3 miles and 4/3 of a mile. Pick one of the questions that was displayed, but don't tell anyone which question you picked.
All right, so we can't do this in groups again at this time. So let's just kind of figure out how fast they're running. Okay? Running speed is miles per hour. Miles divided by hours to give you speed. So, ladies, why don't you figure out Lynn? Miles divided by hours. Gentlemen, you're going to take Noah. Miles divided by hours. So this is very similar to the first question that we did. Dividing fractions. Then our label would, of course, be miles per hour. Once you are done, check with somebody close to you. And if you agree, then raise your hand and let me know.
I got 58. I got 55 eighths. I'm currently in the process of simplifying it or whatever that means. Are you serious? What'd you get? I got 14/6. What? I'm confused now.
14 over 6? All right, remember you're talking about people running here. So you should have a pretty nice speed, right? If you get an answer like 300 miles an hour, that's not possible. Even probably 30 miles an hour isn't possible for a person to run that far, especially for over an hour. All right, so ladies, let's hear what you got. 6 and 7 eighths. Let's see. 8, 9, 10, 11 fourths. This is the one I need to flip, right? Dividing by 2/5, so I'm going to flip that one over. And I get 11 times 5, 4 times 2, and then you divide it out. So, Sophia, I believe that's the one you mentioned, right? 66 divided by 8. 8 goes into 66. 8 times. 8 and 2 eighths. 8.25. 8 1/4. However you want to say that, make sure you label. Miles per hour. Yeah.
Multiply 11 and 5. You got 16.
Oh, yes. 11 times 5 is not 66. I'm glad you guys had me go through that entire problem and then told me.
It's
Well, they were giving each other looks. I
Yeah.
thought I got
They're always giving each other looks.
You never really know.
55 over 8, of course, is 5 times 11. That's why we can't use calculators. 8 into 55.
We're not allowed to use calculators.
8 into 55.
That's why we should use calculators.
How many?
Yeah.
6.
numbers.
48 and 7 eighths. 6 and 7 eighths. Miles per hour. I guess that'd be 6.875 if you wanted a decimal. Thanks for letting me know that, ladies. Noah. Maverick. What's 8 and 2/3 as an improper fraction? No, 8 times 3 plus 2. 26 over 3. I'm going to flip this one over. What's really nice, guys, is 3's cancel. Yep. How about 26 and 4? Divide by 2. So you get 13 over 2, or 7.5, 7.5. If you didn't cross cancel, you just got to deal with bigger numbers. 78 divided by 12, same thing. 7.5, 7.5. So you could have a question there of who's running faster.
It's obvious in there.
Noah. And he ran it a lot longer too. Hour and a half or hour and a third compared to 2/5.
I think she just gave up and ran away.
All right, top of the next page. It's talking about the speed of light. I don't know if you guys have done anything in science yet dealing with the speed of light. Most of the time you're going to use 300 million. That's how fast light can travel in a second. That's how many meters it can travel, the speed of light. I think we're going to skip this problem to give us time to go through Mona Lisa, but just realize, I believe if the sun exploded, it would take 8 minutes or something like that for us to even realize it. That's how far away that the sun is compared to where we are.
If the sun exploded, it wouldn't be bad.
No, but it'd be 8 minutes before you found out.
Yep.
You and your dad
Page 17. Kellen.
In real life, the Mona Lisa measures 2.5 feet by 1 feet. A company that makes office supplies wants to print a scaled copy of the Mona Lisa on the cover of a notebook that measures 11 inches by 9 inches. What size should they use for the scaled copy of the Mona Lisa on the notebook?
All right, so because the notebook obviously usually is in inches, let's convert the real life Mona Lisa picture into inches. So why don't you make 2.5 feet into inches for me? Ladies, why don't you do that one? Guys, 1 3/4 feet into inches. Obviously 12 inches in a foot.
Is this office supplies
Yes.
company?
What's that? 21 inches?
Yes. Yeah.
76? What inches?
Ladies? 30 inches? All right, so our Mona Lisa is 30 inches by 21 inches. And you want to get it to fit on a 11 by 9 sheet of paper, so we need a good scale that would fit nicely on there. Obviously, it needs to be smaller, so we're looking at a fraction. So what's a nice fraction that would give us to fit on there? Like a half wouldn't work because 15 and 10.5 wouldn't fit on my sheet of paper. I think there's even a nicer one. Yep.
Can you just zoom next down?
What?
Can you do like a zoom next down?
Yes.
He's gonna try and hijack it.
No, not.
Yes, you are. You said someone stabbed.
When? What is
Well, I just won't let you in.
What is was stabbed?
All right, answer the question, Maverick.
What was the question?
What? I'm looking for a scale. You guys are costing yourself your own work time here. 1/3. Why is 1/3 nice? 30 times a third, or 30 divided by 3 is 10. What's 21 divided by 3? 7. That would fit really nicely on my sheet of paper. I'm going to have a 1-inch border on one side. I'm going to have a 1/2-inch border on the other side. Okay, what size should they use for the scale copy? 10-inch by 7-inch. Two. What is the scale factor? You already answered that one. Scale factor is 1/3. The only other scale I heard was 2/3. Kellen, let's just look at that. That would have still been too big. That would only got you down to 20. Wouldn't to fit on an 11-inch sheet of paper. Okay, since that's the only one I heard, that's the only one we will discuss, but you had to have a starting point and you knew it had to be a fraction because it had to be smaller. All right, your assignment. Starting on page 19. Okay, converting to miles per hour. How far or how long would it take you to go 4.5 miles? I think you can handle that one. Number 2 is talking about the recipes. If you prefer a table, it's kind of going to be like we did for this one. You know, a table is always an option. What did I multiply by to do it to the other ingredients? Question number 3. Draw a scaled copy of the circle with a scale factor of 2. How does the circumference compare? How does the area compare? So you shouldn't really have to do any math on that one. That should You should almost be able to answer B and C immediately. But they do have a circle on top of the next page. If you don't want to use a compass or you don't have one, you could measure it with a sheet of paper. Measure the diameter. And then go twice that big. And then draw the best circle you can. You can sketch it. That's fine with me. That's not going to affect how you answer these questions, though. It's going to be twice as big. Does that make sense? So that's an easy way to sketch that. Question number 3, interesting one right before Thanksgiving. Ham, turkey, or roast beef. You go to the grocery store and you got to buy one of those, and you want to buy the cheapest because you got a lot of people coming and you don't have a lot of money. Okay? So you want to figure out the price per pound. So you take the money divided by the pounds, money divided by the pounds, money divided by the pounds, and you're going to answer which one's the cheapest and most expensive off of that. And question number 3, again, choosing all scales that you think would be the best to fit on that sheet of paper. So 1 through 5, 19 through 21, due tomorrow.